Our movie begins inside a high school classroom in Japan, where the teacher, Mr. Chin, is explaining to his students that some things in life just happen suddenly, like accidents, love, or even friendship. After class, we see two students, Kashi and her friend Roka, walking home together. Roka suggests that Kashi join her on a trip during the vacation after graduation. At first, Kashi isn't really interested, but eventually she agrees. Then Roka tells her that she noticed during class that their classmate Saki couldn't take his eyes off her, hinting that he might have a crush on her. Kashi pretends not to hear and changes the subject. We then see Saki playing soccer with his friends when he notices their classmate Wada standing on the school roof, his face full of anger. Wada forms his hand into the shape of a gun and points it at the students as if he's shooting them one by one. The next morning, a student named Yoshi arrives late to school, as usual. When she enters the classroom, she only finds Mr. Chin inside. He tells her that the rest of her classmates are in another room, and before she leaves, he hands her a CD and asks her to play it for the class. She agrees, and he thanks her, saying, "Good job, Yoshi." Then he taps her forehead twice with his hand, and her eyes suddenly change color, turning gray in a strange way. Yoshi then goes to her classmate's room and finds everyone laughing, joking, and taking pictures together. Without saying anything, she walks straight to the CD player and puts in the disc that Mr. Chin gave her. The video starts playing, but it's extremely strange and doesn't make any sense. It's just a series of geometric shapes moving in both organized and chaotic ways at the same time, along with quick flashes of eyes appearing and disappearing. Despite how weird it is, the students are completely focused on the video. When the video ends, the class splits into two opinions. One group says the video is strange and meaningless, while the other insists it's totally normal and clear. Then, something shocking happens. Yoshi walks toward the balcony, climbs up onto the railing, and jumps off, killing herself instantly. The students freeze in horror and disbelief. A few moments later, one student pulls out his phone to call the police, but before he can, he suddenly bites his own wrist hard enough to tear his veins and bleeds out, dying right in front of everyone. Mr. Chin walks back into the classroom, and the students feel a bit of relief, not realizing what's coming. He starts explaining that many people take their own lives for known reasons, like physical or mental illness, even mild ones, while others do it for no reason at all. But in the end, the result is always the same. Then he shocks them by revealing that they're all currently under hypnosis, and that there are something called hypnotic signals. He tells them there are exactly 100 signals, and anyone who performs one of them will immediately fall under the hypnosis and ultimately end their own life. He reminds them that there are now only 36 students left, and every one of them is in danger if they accidentally trigger any of the 100 signals, which they still have no idea what they are. One of the students, furious and scared, grabs the teacher by his shirt and demands that he release everyone from the hypnosis. Suddenly, that student starts smashing his head against the wall over and over, 50 times, until he collapses dead. Mr. Chin calmly explains that showing violence or aggression towards someone counts as one of the 100 hypnotic signals. Terrified, Roka takes out her phone to call her mother, but within seconds she drops it, sticks out her tongue, and starts biting it until she rips it off, dying instantly. Kashi is devastated by the death of her best friend. Another girl bursts into tears, grabs a flower vase, and starts smashing her head with it repeatedly until she dies too. By this point, the students have realized 3 of the 100 signals, and they're desperate to figure out the rest to avoid triggering them and escape the school alive. Mr. Chin leaves the classroom, telling them they must discover the remaining signals on their own. One student runs after him, but Mr. Chin warns him. "You'd better not leave the classroom." The student panics and goes back inside, scaring the others even more. But one brave student decides to step out of the room, and nothing happens to him. Seeing that, the others follow. They run through the empty school looking for help, but no one is there. They finally reach the school gate, and one girl decides to step outside to call for help. The moment she does, her neck twists completely around, and she drops dead in front of everyone. Mr. Chin appears again and tells them that trying to escape the school is also one of the hypnotic signals. He warns them too that if anyone tries to help them, that act of help would itself count as a new signal, leading to the same deadly fate. Then, Mr. Chin tells them that he called their parents to inform them that their children would be a bit late coming home because they have an after-school activity, just so no one would come looking for them. One of the students, a girl named Sono, asks, "Sir, how can we get rid of these signals?" Chin replies seriously, "Come with me to the classroom, and I'll explain everything there." Inside the classroom, Chin begins to speak, saying that the only way to escape the hypnosis is for each of them to survive by understanding and avoiding the signals. He adds, "That means as you keep falling one by one, there will only be one person left in the end, the sole survivor." Sono mutters regretfully to herself, "I wish I hadn't asked that question." Chin continues, saying this experience will help them understand society better. But Kashi interrupts him angrily, calling him a criminal and screaming for him to bring back her friend Ruka. Chin calmly replies, "You should listen to your teachers, Kashi." Then he walks toward the classroom balcony and throws himself off, ending his life right before his students' eyes, leaving them in deeper shock and confusion than ever. After his death, the students begin to wonder what they should do next. One of them suggests searching the entire school for a way to undo the hypnosis Mr. Chin put them under. They agree and split into groups so that each group can search a different area. One group enters the teacher's office and starts searching through Mr. Chin's belongings, while another group heads to the library, hoping to find something useful in the books. In the library, one student finds a book that looks important, but it's written in English. Their classmate Wada walks in, takes the book from him, and begins to look through it. Back in the classroom, which now looks like a strategy room, the students gather and share what each group has discovered. Soon after, Wada returns holding the book and tells them he found out that there's an ancient spell hidden within the video they watched, the real reason all this happened to them. He adds that the book contains 50 signals. The students start writing all 50 signals on the board so they can keep them in sight, then decide to go back to the library to look for more information that might help. But first, they realize they need food and water. A few of them go to the gym storage room searching for drinks. They find some soda bottles, drink them, and within minutes, they all die, adding a new signal to the growing list. Meanwhile, Wada is with the group that went to the library. There, he meets one of his classmates and takes her with him to the school clinic. Inside, he confesses his feelings for her, gets close, and touches her, then asks her to touch him back. Afterward, he tells her that he actually found 60 signals in the book, not 50 as he told the others, and that one of those signals involves touching someone in the wrong place, exactly what he just did. The girl panics, quickly grabs a pair of scissors from the table, and stabs him until he dies. Wada just watches her without emotion, then suddenly collapses too, because by touching her in the wrong place, he triggered the same signal himself. At that moment, Sono walks in and tells him she knew he lied to the others and hid the truth. She also says she found another copy of the same book, but written in Japanese, and she's read it all. Back in the classroom, another student named Corinne tells his friend Saki that Wada and Sono are hiding something from them. He adds that he saw the bodies of their classmates in the gym, and realized they died after drinking something. But Kashi interrupts and insists they should trust Wada, saying he has no reason to harm or deceive them. As the discussion continues, their classmate Mino bursts in, panicking, and tells them she went to the school clinic to get some medicine, and found 2 dead bodies lying on the floor. Immediately, Kashi, Saki, and several other students rush toward the clinic to see for themselves. At the same time, Kurino goes looking for Wada, as he's been suspicious of him since the morning. Eventually, he finds him holding a bottle of soda. Kurino accuses Wada of deceiving everyone and trying to get rid of them so he can be the sole survivor. He tells him that the drink he's holding is another curse signal. Just then, Kashi walks in and tells Wada that she trusts him. To prove his innocence, Wada drinks from the bottle right in front of them, trying to show that Kurino is overreacting. After drinking, he hands the bottle to Kashi and tells her to drink as well. But before she does, Carino grabs it from her and takes a sip himself. Suddenly, Carino drops dead. At that moment, Wada spits out the soda he pretended to swallow. He never drank it, just to trick his classmates into believing him. Kashi returns to the classroom to figure out what to do next, and there she finds Sono entering the room, holding the Japanese version of the book. She tells everyone there are actually 60 signals, not 50, but she refuses to reveal the rest because she wants to be the only one left alive. The students have no choice but to cooperate with Sono and Wada, since they have no better option. However, one student named Shia is deeply upset over the death of his friend Carino, believing Wada was responsible. He angrily tries to attack him, but Saki stops him just in time. Then Sono orders 6 students to stand around Shia, with her as the 7th person, and tells them all to point at him. As soon as they do, Shia collapses and dies instantly. A new signal is revealed. If 7 people point at one person in the middle, that person will die. Kashi, terrified by what she's just witnessed, runs away, realizing that Wada and Sono might actually be trying to eliminate everyone. Saki, who loves her, chases after her, but Mino stops him, wanting him to stay with her instead. He refuses and continues to follow Kashi. We then move to a new scene inside the music room. A student and his classmates sneak in to spend some time together. They stare deeply into each other's eyes, a moment of affection, but that very act triggers another signal, causing them both to die instantly. Outside the room, Kashi and Saki witness what happened, realizing the meaning of this new signal so they can avoid repeating it. They later write down every signal they've discovered so far, along with the ones Mr. Chin mentioned earlier. Later, Kashi goes to find Mino and discovers that she has joined Sono's side. Sono manipulated Mino's jealousy toward Kashi and turned her against her. The group, Sono and her 6 followers, start pointing at Kashi to kill her, making 7 people total, but Saki rushes in at the last second and saves her. Sono and her group quickly back off. Kashi, holding the paper that lists all the signals, explains that if more than one person survives until dawn, everyone will die, because only one person is meant to remain alive. Just then, Wada appears wearing a water-resistant suit. Knowing the signals inside out, he opens bottles of soda and sprays them all over the others, forcing them to kill themselves immediately. The soda runs out before it reaches Kashi, Saki, and Haru, so Wada leaves to find more. He finds another victim nearby and collects some of their blood. At that moment, Saki confronts him, asking, "Why did you do all this?" Wada reminds him of their childhood, when he once asked Saki to stay by his side until death, but Saki never cared. He was more focused on soccer back then. Wada asks if he can die with him and offers him the victim's blood, saying it's another signal. Kashi arrives just in time to stop him, but Haru intervenes, stopping her and going towards Saki to keep him from drinking the blood. However, this triggers yet another deadly signal, and Haru dies instantly. Kashi and Saki gently move Haru's body to rest beside their fallen friends. In a heartbreaking moment, Saki confesses his love for Kashi. Not wanting her to suffer for him, he tells her that he has 2 pills that can remove the effect of the hypnosis. Since only 3 of them are left, 2 will take the pills and 1 will have to survive until morning. Saki leaves Kashi a message in his phone, asking her to open them in the morning. He then tricks Wada into thinking that the 2 of them will take the pills together and survive. But when Wada reaches for his pill, Saki smirks and says, "Guess what? It's just a painkiller, you idiot." It turns out Saki sacrificed himself so Kashi could live. He attacks Wada, and both end up taking their own lives, leaving Kashi as the only survivor. Overwhelmed with grief, Kashi carries Saki's body and places it next to the others. Then she opens his phone and watches the video he made for her with their friends, crying uncontrollably. Finally, the police arrive, as always too late, and rescue Kashi. The news spreads quickly, a massive student massacre at the high school. But the strangest part is that the authorities never found Mr. Chin's body anywhere on campus. 5 years later, everyone has moved on, everyone except Kashi. She eventually discovers where Mr. Chin has been hiding. She confronts him, telling him she's studied criminal psychology and knows he used to enjoy watching his students kill themselves and each other. Before leaving, she places the same curse disc into a player, forcing him to watch the video, fall under hypnosis, and suffer just like his students once did. And of course, we all know what happened next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.